We're going ghost hunting. Not the kind with EMF meters and reality TV crews, but the kind where you step into the mist and let your imagination run wild. Ireland's haunted history is calling, and it's far more thrilling than any rainbow chase. Let's get real about Ireland. It's not all fairy tales and lucky charms. There's a deeper, darker magic here, one that lingers in the air and seeps from the stones. You've packed your green jumper, humming a Celtic tune, expecting leprechauns and pots of gold. Maybe you've even practiced your jig, just in case. Sorry to disappoint, but the only gold you'll find is what you spend on a pint in Temple Bar. And trust me, it vanishes faster than you can say slaint. Leprechauns? They're off managing offshore accounts. The real mischief makers are the spirits that never left. The island on postcards, sunny hills, happy sheep, is a fantasy. The truth is, the weather changes faster than your mood, and the sheep are the only ones who seem unbothered by the drizzle. The real island? It's damp, wild, and a bit weird. The kind of place where legends feel possible and every shadow has a story. Tourist hotspots, overcrowded and overrated. You'll find more mystery in a forgotten graveyard than in a selfie at the cliffs of Moher, kissing the Blarney Stone. It's basically a germ swap. The real charm is in the stories whispered by the wind, not in the stones touched by thousands. So, what's the alternative? Ditch the cliches, skip the tour buses. Let's wander where the crowds don't go, where the silence is broken only by the caw of a crow or the creak of an old gate. Let's find the real island, crumbling castles, bizarre stories, and ghosts with more personality than most people you'll meet in a pub. We're not after gold, we're after proper spooks, rattling chains, moaning corridors, and the occasional flying teacup. If you listen closely, you might even hear a banshee's wail or the laughter of a long-gone lord. The real magic isn't in souvenir shops, it's in the shadows of ruins, on windswept bogs, and in silent castles where history lingers like a chill. So put away your guidebook, grab a torch, and wear sensible shoes. Adventure here means muddy boots and a heart ready for the unknown. We're heading off the beaten path into the wild places where stories are born and the past feels close enough to touch. It's muddy, mysterious, and far more fun than any postcard could ever promise. Ready? Let's go ghost hunting. The real adventure starts where the guidebook ends. You love castles? Of course you do, but for every polished gift shop castle, there are 100 glorious ruins. These are the misfits. Forgotten, ivy-covered, and far more interesting. The tourist board shows you the Hollywood A-listers, but the real stories are hidden down muddy lanes. These castles have seen battles, scandals, and probably some terrible dinners. No velvet ropes here, just sheep, silence, and maybe a ghostly whisper. You might get muddy, but you'll get something priceless. Discovery. It feels like you're the first to find it, even if a farmer passed by an hour ago. So let's make a pact. Ignore the shiny castles. Seek out the ones barely standing, with names you can't pronounce and histories tangled in myth. These are storybooks made of stone, waiting for you to turn the page. Bring a flask, bring your curiosity. The real Ireland is waiting. Let's start with Leap Castle, County Offaly, the most haunted castle in Ireland. Its history is a blood-soaked saga of betrayal and murder. The Bloody Chapel, a priest murdered by his own brother during Mass. In the 1920s, workers found a dungeon filled with skeletons, 3 cartloads worth. But the real star is the Elemental, a hunched, sheep-sized creature that reeks of sulfur and decay. Disturbed by occult dabbling, it now haunts the halls, terrifying visitors. Leap Castle isn't a polished tour, it's a raw, chilling experience. Privately owned, you'll get gruesome tales straight from the source. You don't visit for the architecture, you visit for the atmosphere. If you're lucky, or unlucky, you'll catch a whiff of that infamous stench. Leap is for those who want their history with a side of terror. Enter if you dare. Charleville Castle near Tullamore is Gothic grandeur with a supernatural twist, built on ancient druidic land. Think burial ground, but with more chanting. The architect ignored warnings, and now the castle is a hotspot for paranormal activity. Its most famous ghost, Harriet, a little girl who died on the grand staircase. Visitors hear her laughter, singing, and sometimes screams, but there's more hooded druidic figures in the woods, cosmic alignments, and a sense the castle is a supernatural battery. Charleville is alive with history and mystery, restored by volunteers and hosting everything from music festivals to ghost hunts. Wander its empty rooms and feel the ancient energy. Come for Harriet, stay for the eerie collision of past and present. It's a portal to another world, Wi-Fi not included. McDermott's Castle, County Roscommon, is the ultimate forbidden fruit. Perched on a tiny island in Loch Key, it's a romantic ruin you can only admire from afar. The legend, Una, the chieftain's daughter, fell for a local boy. Her father locked her away. Her lover drowned trying to reach her. She died of heartbreak. Their ghosts are said to haunt the island, forever separated by water. You can circle the island by boat, soaking in the atmosphere without getting your feet wet. Its inaccessibility preserves its mystery. No visitor center, no crowds, just secrets. Some places are more powerful because you can't conquer them. Let your imagination fill in the gaps. Sometimes the best stories are the ones you can only glimpse from a distance. McDermott's Castle is haunting, beautiful, and untouchable. And that's exactly why it lingers in your mind. Ready to hunt ghosts? Here's how. But before you set out, remember, in Ireland, the supernatural is woven into the very landscape. Every stone, every shadow, every whisper of wind might carry a story from the other side. Embrace the gloom. Ghosts love mist, drizzle, and twilight. The more mysterious the weather, the better your chances of a close encounter. Let the damp air and swirling fog set the mood for your adventure. In Ireland, that's just called weather. Skip the touristy castles. The real spirits don't hang out where the crowds are. Instead, seek out the places that locals avoid after dark. Find places with tragic histories and names like Misery Hill. Old graveyards, forgotten ruins, and lonely crossroads are where the veil is thinnest. These are the places where legends linger. Ask locals for the spots that give everyone the creeps. The best ghost stories are passed down over pints in cozy pubs. Listen carefully. Locals know where the banshees wail and the spirits roam. Forget fancy ghost hunting gadgets. All you need is a torch, a sense of adventure, and maybe a little courage. A flask of something strong helps too, just enough to steady your nerves. Trust your senses. Listen for footsteps echoing in empty halls. Watch for moving shadows that dance just out of sight, and feel for sudden chills that creep up your spine. Sometimes the coldest spot in the room is where a spirit lingers. If you meet a ghost, be polite. Respect is your best protection. The dead appreciate good manners as much as the living. Don't scream and run. It's their home. Introduce yourself, show you mean no harm, and you might just get a story in return. Ask how the afterlife is going, or if they have any advice for the living. You never know what wisdom a spirit might share. Maybe compliment their spectral glow. A little flattery never hurts, even in the afterlife. And never ever ask a banshee if she's single. Some questions are better left unasked, especially with the otherworldly. Respect goes a long way, even with the dead. Leave a flower, say a prayer, or simply nod in gratitude for the encounter. The best scares come to those who are courteous. Ghosts appreciate good manners, so be brave, be respectful, and remember that every haunting is a story waiting to be heard. Keep your wits about you and trust your instincts. Sometimes the real magic is in the anticipation. The real adventure is in the encounter. Every shadow could be a story, every chill a memory from the past. And remember, in Ireland, the line between this world and the next is always a little thin. Happy haunting, and may your journey be filled with wonder, mystery, and maybe a friendly ghost or two. My American friends, it's time to break up with the Blarney Stone. The real gift of the gab comes from a night in a proper Irish pub, not a rock kissed by thousands. Trade the tourist trail for a forgotten castle. It's real, unpredictable, and a bit wild. The tour bus island is a show. The real island is an adventure. Stand alone in a ruin, and you're not just a tourist, you're an explorer. Your stories will be unique. Ghostly laughter at Charleville, sulphur at Leap. Forget the cues and cliches. Seek out places where history lingers in the stones and the air is thick with stories. Ditching the mainstream is a declaration. You want more than a selfie. You want a real memory, a real shiver down your spine. So step away from the Blarney Stone. Find a proper ghost. Your dinner party stories will thank you, and so will your immune system. Let's talk about real Irish magic, not the kind you see in movies or read about in fantasy novels, but something much older, deeper, and more mysterious. It's a magic that lingers in the air, woven into the very soil and stone of the land itself. This isn't about wands and hats, but about the deep, earthy magic that's been part of Ireland for thousands of years. It's in the moss under your feet, the whisper of the wind through ancient trees, and the feeling that you're never quite alone, even in the wildest places. The tourist industry tries to bottle it, Celtic knots, cladder rings, and trinkets you can take home. But those are just symbols, echoes of something much more profound. The real thing can't be bought or sold. True magic isn't for sale. You have to find it for yourself, off the beaten path, away from the crowds. It's hidden in places most visitors never see. It's in fairy forts, haunted lakes, and lone hawthorn trees no one dares cut down. These are places where the old beliefs still linger, where locals leave offerings or whisper a blessing just in case. This is a magic of superstition and respect, older than any religion, rooted in the land and the people who have lived here for generations. It's a quiet reverence for things unseen. You won't find it in Dublin's city centre. Go rural, talk to locals, ask for their stories. In small villages and country pubs, the real tales are told. They'll share tales of strange lights, eerie sounds, and places best avoided after dark. These stories aren't just entertainment, they're warnings, memories, and a way of keeping the old magic alive. These stories are the fabric of Celtic magic, passed down through generations, woven into the identity of the people. Each tale is a thread in a tapestry that stretches back centuries. Look for the oddities: wells with ribbons, stones with carvings, paths everyone avoids. These are the markers of a living tradition, signs that the old ways are still respected. The real enchantment is quiet, persistent, and just beneath the surface. It's in the hush of the morning mist, the silence of a forgotten glen, the sense of wonder that never quite fades. Ireland's landscape is alive with myth. Every hill and valley holding a story, every stone a silent witness to the past. Here, the veil between worlds is thin. Some say you can feel it in the air, a tingling on your skin, a shiver down your spine. Walk with respect, and you might just feel it. Move quietly, listen closely, and let the land speak to you. That's the magic you'll remember, the kind that stays with you long after you've left, calling you back to Ireland's wild heart. So there you have it, a tour of Ireland's hidden, haunted and magical side. We've explored ruins, met ghosts and agreed that kissing rocks is overrated. The real Ireland isn't a checklist, it's an exploration. Go beyond the obvious. The famous sights are just the introduction. The real story is in the silence of a ruin, the whisper of a legend, the damp air of a forgotten lane. Don't just take photos, listen, talk, get lost and embrace the adventure. You might not find gold or leprechauns, but you'll find something better. A genuine connection to a place alive with mystery. So come to Ireland, but leave the clichés at the airport. Find a castle with only sheep and ghosts for company. Seek out whispered stories, not shouted tours. The real Ireland is waiting down a road you weren't meant to take, with a ghost story ready to tell. You won't regret it, probably.